Please tell me if this situation is familiar to you. You're starting an activity, and all of a sudden, you somehow realize that you just simply cannot do that activity, you're supposed to be doing something else, so on and so forth, so you jump to the next activity. And throughout that activity, in the second activity, you are realizing that that's not the proper activity either for you to get to that place where you're so much craving to get to. And then you're jumping to the third activity and the fourth activity, and you're just, after a few ones, you're just simply collapsing in frustration. Because you just simply realize that none of them are eventually getting you to the place that you are so desperately craving to. So why is that? Why is that, brothers? And the reason that I found in myself is that this is because my mind is freaking busy. This is why I start, for example, I want to do the back workout. And if I'm not decisive regarding to the back workout, I just simply go out there and I start in this position, and then I do the other position, then I start the other one, then the other one, then the other one. Then I end up doing a million types of activities and a million types of exercises, and eventually not going forward, proceeding forward with any of them. And this happens many times in life with all the other endeavors we are engaging into. And so this is because in the very beginning, we are undisciplined, we are undecisive, our mind is busy, and we just want to do too much, which could be all traced back again, desires. We just simply wake up with the expectations of getting done so freaking much more throughout the day that we are just simply do not have the time. And this is especially for the younger brothers out there. I've been there too. I just wanted to make $1 million in a month. And shit doesn't work like that. It just simply needs time. It just simply needs the discipline to build up. And getting back to the main storyline that I want to emphasize over here is that, brothers, set something and stick with that. Because sticking with something long term will eventually get you to somewhere. So therefore, you will have a baseline. So therefore, you can have a state of reference. Because if you have a state of reference and you know how to, for example, you are running a business for 2 years and you figure out that, bro, like, I freaking hate this industry. Now you can switch the industry and you can start running another business, and you will now have the baseline, and you will have basically every single thing, and you will have the realistic expectations, and you will have the character traits, and so on and so forth. The same thing goes through with sports. So for example, you've been doing yoga for 2 years. And now all of a sudden you're switching to calisthenics, or would say like street workout or whatever it might be, or weightlifting or swimming or whatever it might be. You will have a baseline. You will know the discipline that it takes. You will have the experience, because you've been stick with it. You've been building up a baseline over there. The same thing holds true for a craft or a hobby. For example, starting a new instrument. For example, you've been playing the piano and now you want to learn how to play the guitar because you figured out that piano is not your thing. Bro, like, you will know and you will have a baseline. But if you're just jumping from activity to activity to activity, you're always getting back to the beginning of the learning curve, which is always exciting to do the first few steps. It's always exciting because it's new, it looks super cool. But at the end of the day, it will not bring you to anywhere. So every single day, when I'm just simply having this rush inside myself, every single day, when I just simply have this thing inside of me that is just simply telling to me that, hey bro, sleep in. Hey bro, rush through it. Rush through the calls. Hey bro, take this day off because you do not feel like it. I go through all of those days every single time. And somehow I end up most of the times killing it. Sometimes it's like normal, but many times it turns out that the days when I didn't have the mood for that, I'm just simply killing that shit. And so what I wanted to talk over here, to phrase everything up, to just put everything together, is that we just got this tendency to rush from this activity to the other activity, to jump from this one to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. Chasing something. Chasing to satisfy that inner craving. That inner craving, that inner disturbance, that anxiety, that's something that is built up. We just want to get away from it as soon as possible. But we have to learn it, and perhaps even more importantly, teach it to ourselves, how to eventually use that energy, how to be the master of that energy. So therefore, not to split it, especially if you're a man, not to split it towards 10 activities. So if you're waking up with this huge urge, with this huge thing that you want to change the world, not to just start a new business, start a new instrument, start a new endeavor, start a new hobby, but pick something and stick with that shit. And this is what discipline is all about. Pick something and stick with that thing. Whether you've got the mood for that, whether you do not have the mood for that. And again, coming back to the roots, be the master of your desires, brothers. And just simply set up something and go through that shit. And then go through the next shit. And then go through the next shit. And then you are teaching to yourself, well, how does it look like when something is done? And that thing will be just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Compounding and compounding and compounding. And you will be able to just stack. You will figure out your sleep. Then you will figure out your workout. Then you will figure out your finances. Then you will figure out your relationships. Then you will figure out your fucking soul. Then you will figure out the meaning of your life. But you cannot do them all at once. This is what we have to understand. And this is perhaps the most important thing that we'll have to teach to ourselves. So brothers and sisters, today was a fucking hard day for me. I woke up and I felt a bit, I would say sick or whatever. Maybe you can hear it on my voice too. And I just said to myself that I have to do the freaking bridges and I have to run today. And I thought that I will fucking die, bro. I thought that I will fucking die. But I gone through that anyways. And now somehow I'm feeling that going through the shit, what you're sticking no matter what, is building that thing inside of you. It's getting you closer to that thing. This is the core essence that I wanted to talk about over here, brothers. Love and peace.